Still on the prophetic theme of the month, who says, sanctified to be glorified. Can you say with me? Can you say it as a minute? Sanctified to be glorified. Can you say it? Are you afraid? Sanctified to be glorified. When you are talking about glorification, what gives birth to it is sanctification. Sanctification is the ladder to be glorified. A life of glory and honor is a product of sanctification. Always check your glorification level to ascertain your level of sanctity. You can't be full of God and not manifest the glory of God. And our teaching series is sanctification is profitable unto all things, part 2. Sanctification is profitable unto all things, part 2. 2 Timothy, 1 Timothy 4 verse 7 to 8, it says, for bodily exercise profited little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having the promise of the life that is now and of that which is to come. It guarantees the security of your future, and it guarantees the now. You enjoy life to the fullest in the now, and at the latter end of your life, you enjoy eternity with God. It covers all facets of life. And our Father told us during his teaching yesterday that nothing of value that is ever free, nothing of value that is ever free. You have to pay the price for glorification. And the price to pay is the price of righteousness and holiness. To be glorified, you need to pay the price. It's not free. You need to build on it. You need to watch. You need to pray. So everything of great value comes with a great price. And everything of great value comes with a great demands on us. And sanctification is our most valuable asset that every believer need to crave for. The most valuable asset that every believer must crave to be sanctified. You have to crave to live a holy life. It don't jump on people. It's a walk. Righteousness is a walk. Sanctification is a great walk. And it has a great value. And every great value demands a great work from us. Our Father made us to understand that Satan is ever on the hunt to get believers out of track. He doesn't sleep, he fasts, he prays, he doesn't rest day and night, just to make sure to throw you out of bearing, to throw believers out of the demands of greatness in life and disconnecting us from our glorious destiny. Satan is not resting. That's why believers must stand out in order to fight the good fight of faith. In 1 Peter 5 verse 8, he said, be sober, be vigilant, because your enemy, the devil himself, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Devil is not resting. His greater demand is to take us out of track. to take us from God, to take us out of holiness and righteousness. That is his greatest work and assignment. In John 10:10, he came to steal, to kill, and to destroy. His threefold agenda is to make us and to put us out of disarray with God. And when we sin, we sink. In Luke 22 verse 31, and the Lord said to Simon, 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 behold, Satan have desired to have you, that he may swift you as a wheat. His own desire is to sift us from faith. The prayer point of the devil is to shift us from the presence of God. In Hebrews 12 verse 1 to 4, we are foreseeing, we are also compassed about with so great cloud of witness. Let us lay aside every weight. So sin is a weight, and nothing slows our movement or our journey in life like carrying a heavy load. What of a vehicle that carries a heavy load? The fast is delayed. The journey is delayed. That's what happened to humanity. When humanity is involving his life and destiny in sin, it delays your flight to your glorification. It delays your journey to the realms of breakthroughs in life. Bible says, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth easily beset us. It's talking about iniquity. When a man is always in sin, that sin turns to iniquity. It turns to altar. And when that altar is fulfilled, it turns to a voice, because every altar have a voice. So sin makes believers to sink. Let us lay aside every weight that will hinder our flight to the realms of glorification. Let us lay aside every weight that may hinder our access to the presence of God. You say, let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. For to consider him that endures such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in the mind. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood. That is why you are still struggling with sin. Bible says, resist the devil and he will flee. You have not yet fight the good fight of faith through the blood of the everlasting covenant. Say, turn ye to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today I declare, I will render double. So fight sin, because have something to do with your glorious destiny. Fight sin like you are fighting the devil. But God never hold our past against us. God opened my eye when our father was preaching yesterday, that God can only forgive the sin we forgive ourselves. Many a time we hold ourselves captive. Many a time we thought that with the sin we committed when we are still in the war, that is what is still holding us captive today. Anytime you repent, you confess and forsake your sin and your old ways, God writes it off automatically. It doesn't hold your past against you. It doesn't hold your past against your future. It doesn't store your sin. Anytime you give your life to Christ, you are a new creature. All things are passed away. Behold, all things are now new. You are now a new brand personality in the kingdom. All things are passed away. Many believers are in captivity today because they hold themselves captive The thought, the challenges they are passing today is a product of the sin they committed yesterday. Once a man is born again, old things are passed away. Old things are passed away. God can forgive you if you can't forgive yourself. So the beginning of glorification is to forgive yourself. Many are righteous today, but they have not let the past pass. They married for 10 years. They assume that when they were in the world, they do all manner. And that is what is holding them captive today. Devil is a liar. It's only the devil that can use your past to determine your future, but not God. Not God. God never held our past against us, but He write it off whenever we truly repent. Whenever you truly repent, He write it off. He write it off. Ezekiel 18 verse 20 to 24. He said, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. But if the wicked will turn from all his sin that he have committed and keep all my statutes and do that which is lawful and right, he shall surely be forgiven and he shall live. And if a righteous man decided to trade with sin tomorrow, he said he shall not live, he shall die. God judges you with what he needs in place. He judges you with what he sees you doing at now. At now. In 1 Kings 21 verse 26, 1 Kings 21, 25 to 29, but there was none like unto Ahab, who did sell himself to the work of wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. And he did very abominable things in following idols, according to all things that he did into Amorite, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard those words, that he rent his cloth and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted and lay in sackcloth and wept and went softly. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, seest thou how Ahab humbled himself before me? Because he humbled himself before me, I will not bring this evil in his days. His iniquity was aborted. The consequences of his iniquity was averted because of he humbled himself, confessed and forsake his sin. Because it was the wife that was pushing him to commit wickedness. And he regained himself and he aligned with the dictate of God, and his sin was forgiven. How much more you? How much more the believers? How much more Jesus that paid for your sin? He carried your sin, he carried my sin, he carried the sin of the whole world into himself. He knew no sin, but he died for my sin. He died for your sin. Who can condemn you when God has not condemned you? Lose yourself from the grip of iniquity. Lose yourself. Furthermore, we understand from scriptures that the mystery of godliness, we swallow up the mystery of iniquity at any time, at any day. The mystery of godliness. Sin is a mystery, and righteousness is a mystery. And among these two mysteries, the mystery of righteousness can swallow the mystery of iniquity at any time and any moment. Aaron casted his rod, and and his rod turned to serpent. And the Egyptians casted their own rod, and it turned to 7 serpents. And the rod of Moses swallowed up other 7 rods. No matter the happenings in your place of work, no matter the happenings in our surroundings, in our generation, the mystery of godliness will always prevail against the mystery of iniquity. It doesn't matter the multitude that are doing it. It doesn't matter who is against you. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin brings reproach to any nation. In Exodus 7 verse 11 and 12, then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers, now the magician of Egypt, and they also did like manner with enchantments. And in Numbers 23 verse 23, it says, surely there is no enchantment or divination against you or me. According to this time it shall be said of you and me, what the Lord have wrought. The mystery of godliness. We always have unquestionable dominion over the mystery of iniquity. They casted their own rod, every man to his own rod, and it became serpent. But Aaron's rod swallowed up the rod of the magicians. The mystery of iniquity. We always bow to the authenticity of the mystery of the covenant. 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3 to 4. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come. Jesus will not come, except there come a falling away. And we are in the era of falling away. Many nations are falling away. Even churches are falling away. Believers that used to be righteous with God before, they are all falling away. Many are falling. This shows you that Jesus is about to come. This shows you that rapture is about to take place. How prepared are you? How prepared are you? What shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? What can you give in exchange to your soul? What can you give in exchange to your soul? Jesus will not come unless there is a falling away, falling apart. The man of sin will be revealed before the coming of Jesus Christ, which is Satan, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called of God, that is worshipped, so that he, as God, seated in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Second Thessalonians 2 verse 5 to 7. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what is withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. The mystery of iniquity is already working. Only he know who he later will not let until he be taken out of the way. He be taken out of the way. In 1 Timothy 3 verse 16, and without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. Without contradiction, great is our mystery. Our mystery is our mystery of dominion anywhere we are or find ourselves alive. God was manifested in flesh, justified in the spirit, seen of angels, preached unto the Gentiles, believe in the word and receive up unto glory. Benefits of sanctification. What are the benefits of sanctification? If I live a holy life, what are there for me? What am I entitled to benefit? If I'm living a holy life, So benefits of sanctification. Number one, access to divine honor. Godliness brings believers to the realms of glory and honor. It's not the honor that this world gives. It's the honor that God alone can give. And when God honors a man, who can dehonor you? Who can demarcate you? Honor from the Lord. Nothing brings believers to the realms of honor like righteousness. Righteousness. Right standing with God. Right standing with Jesus is the key to honor. And nothing brings about shame and reproach like sin. Like sin. Like sin. How do somebody feel that they caught a child in armed robbery? How will somebody feel that a child is caught in harlotry? Nothing brings about shame like sin. Like sin. In Proverbs 14 verse 34, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Sin is a reproach to any church. Sin is a reproach to any people. In 2 Timothy 2 verse 19 to 21, nevertheless, the foundation of God standeth sure, having this seal, the Lord knoweth them that are his. Let everyone that nameth the name of the Lord depart from iniquity. Depart from iniquity. But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth. And to some unto honor, and some into dishonor. If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified and meet for the master's use. Until the master uses you, you are useless. And nothing will make the master to use you like righteousness. Like righteousness. The master using you in the business world. The master using you in the political world. The master using you in all ramifications is a product of righteousness and holiness. Righteousness. So righteousness or sanctification entitles believers for divine honor. Divine honor. And number two, access to divine secret. Access to divine secret. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him. You can't fear God and not fare well in life. So this trademark of destiny is righteousness. The trademark of life is righteousness. You can't live right and not become a custodian of the mystery of God on the earth. That before God comes to the earth, he takes permission from man. Can I hide this thing from Abraham? Seeing that he feared God? Far be it from me. Abraham became the mouth of God. Before God can enter into any place, he had to take permission from Abraham. Because Abraham feared the Lord. And he became Abraham the Great. He became a transgenerational Abraham, that his name cannot die. Psalm 25 verse 14, the secret of the Lord is with him that fear him. And he will show them his covenant. He will show you the way of life. He will show you the path of life. He will show you the next business to do. He will show you everything that is secret. And it is the secret of the Lord that makes life easy. The secret of the Lord. You can't be trading the secret of the Lord in that business and not stand out in business. You can't be trading the secret of the Lord in that industry you are working and not stand out in that industry. You can't be eating their porridge. You can't be eating their meat. You can't be singing their song and stand out in life. In Job 29 verse 3, when his candle shine upon my head, when by light his light walk through darkness. Through the light of God, I walk through darkness. Light of God is a product of righteousness with God. Trading God's secret is the gateway to glorification. Genesis 18 verse 17 to 19, and the Lord said, shall I hide this thing from Abraham, that thing which I want to do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all nations of the earth shall be blessed in him, for I know him. Can God boast that he know you? God doesn't know sinners. That he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the word of the Lord and do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he have spoken unto him. That before Jesus do anything in your village, he will first show you for approval. That before Jesus appear in your neighborhood, you always get first information from heaven. It's a product of sanctity. It's a product of sanctity. And number 3, it secures establishment in faith. Establishment in faith. In John 15 verse 2, every branch in me that beareth no fruit shall be taken away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purge it out, that he may keep bearing much fruit. That he may keep bearing much fruit. Divine establishment is a product of your genuine walk with God. And Enoch walked with God, and it was counted for him as a righteousness, and he didn't smell death. You can't walk with God and not stand out in destiny. In Luke 13 verse 6 to 9, and he spoke unto this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard. He came and sought fruit thereon, and found none. Then said he unto the dresser of the vineyard, behold, these 3 years I came seeking for the fruit of the fig tree, and find none. Cut it down. Cut it down. Why cumbereth it on the ground? And he answered and said unto him, Lord, let it alone for this 1 year also. 1 year also. 1 year also. You are in business for 4 years, no profit. You are in industry for 4 years, no achievement. The Bible says, cut it off. Cut it off. Everything you do in life, after 3 years and there is no fruit, shake your sanctity level. Shake your sanctity level. For righteousness exalt a nation, but sin is a syndicate to any people. And number 3 and number 4, it guarantees eternity with Christ. Eternity with Christ. Eternity with Christ. There is life after now. There's a place called heaven. In Matthew 7 verse 21 to 23, not everyone that said to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. And many will say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name? Have we not won all the souls? Have we not casted out the devils? Have we not served in units? Have we not given our money for the work of the kingdom? And Jesus will say, depart from me, I know you not, you workers of iniquity. Anything you do in life without righteousness can never hold ground. Eternity with Christ is a reality. You either choose to spend your eternity, and eternity simply means forever. Forever. Either forever with Christ in heaven, or forever with the devil in hell. You have to choose one. It can't be in the two. Luke 13 verse 24, strive to enter in at the straight gate. For many, I say unto you, we seek to enter in, and shall not be able. Repent when there is still day. A time will come, it will be too late. You don't know your time. For after death, there comes judgment. The minds of sanctification. Number one, abstain from all appearances of evil. Abstain from all appearances of evil. Whatever that look like sin, abstain from it. Abstain from all appearances of evil. In 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 22, abstain from all appearances, not some. You are a believer, you are dressing half naked. Bible says abstain. You are with opposite sex, where nobody is seeing you. Bible says abstain. You may not be doing anything, but so far it appears like evil. Bible says abstain. Abstain from all appearances of evil. And number two, flee from sin. Flee from sin. In 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18, flee fornication. Don't speak in tongue when you're supposed to flee. There's no strong man anywhere. If you see Samson, ask him question. He was a strong man, one man general. But instead of abstaining, instead of fleeing, he was speaking in tongue, discussing with sin. Bible say abstain. Bible say flee. Joseph fled, and his crown was settled. Joseph ran, and his glory was restored. There's a time to speak in tongue. There's a time to flee. Flee. 2 Timothy 2 verse 22. Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, and charity. Peace with them that call on the Lord with a pure heart. Rise up on your feet this night. Receive grace to flee. Receive grace to walk the walk of righteousness. Righteousness is a walk. Receive grace. Rise on your feet. Receive grace. Receive grace. To abstain, to flee, receive grace.
Follow us on all of our social platforms at LFC Obuloma.